Hey, welcome back. Dig, I got a swell pep talk coming your way, so don't run off. Okay, hey everybody, here I am, ready to pep you up, ready to pep me up too. It's a wonderful wild Wednesday here in San Francisco, California, and I'm joined as always, as ever, by my lovely little wifey here, Mrs. Kaylee the ukulele, always. Oh, buddy. Oh, honey bunny, you're singing like a birdie. Singing like a goddamn birdie today. We're happy today. That's right. Not that we're not always happy. Or indeed, we're always on our path to happiness, okay? Because happy is quite, an elusive conundrum. But we're all marching one step at a time on our way to one happy day when we lay down and die. And we say, yep, we did it all. We had it our way. Exactly. Today's sponsor is Burger King. No, I'm just kidding. But that's it. That's what today's pep talk is all about. It's all about having it your way. It's all about achieving self-satisfaction, self-esteem in the fact that you, that's right, you artist, you dreamer, you free thinker, you creator, you are unwilling. That's right, unwilling to compromise your artistic vision. Don't allow it. Don't allow it to be torn asunder by every critic out there. Because everybody's a critic, never forget that. Everybody's got their own 2 cents. Everybody's got their own opinion, and that's a beautiful thing. It sure is, but not when it comes to creating your creations, okay? Be willing to put it out there and allow somebody to say, well, it could have been made a lot better if you were to have done this. When somebody says something like that, you should say, oh, great, thanks. Duly noted. And then move on to the next, all right? Now, conversely, you don't need anybody blowing smoke up your ass, okay? Unless you're like me, I do I do appreciate a little praise every now and again. But don't we all? God damn it. All right, but you don't need meaningless praise. Because you know in your heart that this thing that you brought into the world is worthy of being into the world. And indeed, it delights your eyes or your mind or your ears. You, songwriter, you composer on the kazoo. I don't know. You maker of dugout canoes, man. Whatever it is that you do, I'm sure that it's worthy of being in the world. For instance, I made this little sculpture. All right, and I made it out of one of those things that you get at the dollar store. A little guy, a little figurine. Well, anyway, lo and behold, this figurine thing snapped apart and broke to bits. And so what did I do? I put a little hat on him, and now it's my new favorite thing. And that happened all by accident. But suppose for just 1 second, I were to take this shattered thing and go to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and say, hey, what do you suppose I ought to do with this shattered thing? Well, I'm sure I'd get about 75,000 different answers. Most of them would be throw it in the trash and buy a new one. Hell no, I'm not buying a new one, man, because this is pleasing to me. It's pleasing to my eyes. Now, am I going to submit it to the SF MoMA for display? I probably should, because it's that much of a piece of shit. But I'm not going to anyway, all right? Because it's enough for me. But very little thought energy went into that. Not like some of my other creations, okay? Or some of your other creations, okay? Because that is exactly it. You have a purpose in mind. You have a grand plot. And you're exacting every step along the way to carry your plot to fruition, to achieve the accomplishment of bringing into the world that masterwork which only you can bring into the world. Don't sell yourself short. God, don't say that your things are they're just little rinky-dink things that I just don't even really care. Oh, no, they are part of the larger, grander fucking scheme of things, all right? Every little piece of work that you bring into the world, everything that you bring into the world, Make sure that you know. Make sure that you know that it is purely, positively, absolutely ready to be a part of the world. And if it's not, whatever you do, do not subject it to the cold, harsh judgments of all of those people out there that might just stomp it down and stomp you down for it. Dear Lord. What's more, consider your intention. Consider your intention when you are bringing these things into the world, okay? Because you can't just bring things into the world for the sole purpose of pleasing other people. Dear Lord, or especially one specific person, to garner their, approval. God, you don't need their goddamn approval. Hell no. You never needed their approval, nor do you need their praise. Unless, of course, they pay your bills, in which case you damn well better get their fucking approval. All right. But then I suppose your intention in doing that thing, in gaining their approval, would be, of course, to keep the roof over your head. But perhaps that's not your thing that you do. Perhaps that's not the path in which you have been inspired to pursue, okay? Now, maybe that path which you've been inspired to pursue, maybe it's doing anything. Maybe it's making movies. Maybe you make YouTube videos. And you know you have to make these YouTube videos because it's that thing that you do. But nobody's watching your YouTube videos, even though they're highly entertaining or informative or whatever it is that they are. I don't know. I don't know what it is you do, but the point is you know that you have to make these goddamn YouTube videos. Now, you know, too, that perhaps it will never be to the end of keeping a roof over your head. That will never be the end goal in making your YouTube videos, okay? As much as you might, daydream about that being the reality, okay? And that's not to say that it couldn't ever happen, all right? But it's not the reason you're doing it. You're doing it because every little video you make, you know, you see it. You see those seeds of inspiration that you fostered them. You planted them in the dirt with all the nitrogen and the plant food. You watered them and you gave them lots of sunlight. And you talked to them and you watched them grow. And they grew and they grew. Because of you, all right? Now perhaps there's going to be a lot of harsh critics that are going to walk by your little creation and they're going to say, I don't like it. But remember, they can go fuck themselves. Let that be your mantra too. To all the naysayers, all those people who said, well, what are you doing that for? It's not going to keep a roof over your head. And you can say, no, well, I'm doing it because I can't not do it. I'm doing it because it's part of my life's work. It is one more brick that I've laid in the grand Tower of Babel, which I'm building to the sky. It's one more rung on that ladder that I'm climbing. I'm climbing that ladder to the happiest heaven there is. And never forget, too, this is your one shot, okay? This is your one chance on planet Earth to make a splash, to make a scene. You are not meant to fade into obscurity, whoever you are. Get on out there. Today's the day. They're built one day at a time. Just keep doing it. Whatever it is that you gotta do, man. You have been inspired to do that goddamn thing, so you better do it, or else you know what's gonna happen. You'll fizzle out. If you don't do that thing that you're meant to do, that you know you're meant to do, you know what's gonna happen is you're gonna, oh God, you'll regret it. You'll regret it, whatever it is. If you didn't make those little miniature cities out of sugar cubes. If you didn't sculpt butter into replicas of the Eiffel Tower, all right? if you didn't write that short story about that guy who does that thing and it's really eerie and speculative. You know you had that idea. You said, God damn it. Hey, this would be a good idea for a story. Oh, yeah, I used to write stories, didn't I? And then somebody came along and they said, what are you doing that for? It's never going to pay the bills, is it? And you said, yeah, you're right. I ought to just keep my head down and work. Whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe you're the CEO of fucking Twitter or something. Now, that's not to say that Twitter isn't certainly worthy of being into the world. Being in the world. Thank you for bringing Twitter. Not that I use it or anything. I don't use it. Why am I looking up when I'm talking to, what the hell's that guy's name? Jack Dorsey. Like he's God or something. I don't even care. I'm not even on Twitter. But my point is, maybe that's not what Jack Dorsey really wants to do. Maybe Jack Dorsey wants to write little romance novels about fucking moles and voles and gophers. I don't know, man. But if that's what he wants to do, then I encourage you, Jack Dorsey, get going on it. Get going, because today's the day. You're never going to get today back. And whoever you are, I don't know. I know you're not Jack Dorsey, all right? Or maybe you are, but I would assume you're not. By all probability, you are not Jack Dorsey. But I'm sure I don't mind. Anyway. My point is, you know what you need to do. And you know once you get that thing done, whatever it is that you needed to do, your one-woman show, I don't know. Your, that drawing. That drawing of your kitty while she's sleeping. Rendered in oil pastels. You know you got that shit deep in your closet. You haven't thought about it in 10 years maybe. I don't know. Bust it out. Or whatever it is that you do, all right? My point is, you know what you need to do. Today's a great day to do it, or at least get started. Never gonna get today back again. And as soon as you complete it, submit it to the whole wide world. Ignore the sons of bitches who want you to change it. And know in your heart that there's gonna be a lot of people out there whose days will be made better, or at least more interesting, by that thing which you made, by that thing which you brought into the universe, which only you could bring into the universe. So happy. I'm so happy that there's people like you and me in this goddamn world to bring things into the world. Oh, it's brave what we do. It's challenging what we do. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't so challenging. Wouldn't be worth doing. But people like you and me, we're meant to do something other than just keep the roof over our heads. We're meant to give something to the world. So give it. Hey everybody, that concludes today's Pep Talk. I hope you found it riveting. Kaylee liked it. Mwah! Okay, hey everybody, it's time to move to that pinnacle point in the episode where we go to today's Artist Spotlight. That's right, every Wednesday here at the Needle Lift Podcast, I feature one artist, creative, free thinker, dreamer, or otherwise somebody who's done something or brought something into the world that wasn't there before, as a part of the Pep Talk. Or the podcast, that's what I meant to say. As a part of the podcast, we have an Artist Spotlight. You all know what that means. Anyway, this could be any artist, living or dead, all right? And today's Artist Spotlight, with no further ado, is American writer, actor, and filmmaker Quentin Tarantino. That's right, the big QT. That's who we're doing today. And again, this isn't a full-blown biography. There's other YouTube channels for that. This is merely me taking a moment to appreciate, along with you, the good works of some creative individual. And today it is Quentin Tarantino. Holy mega moly. Well, what brought this on, I'll tell you what. I watched Reservoir Dogs last night with my little sweetheart. And that's not to say that I hadn't seen it before. But something that I noticed watching Reservoir Dogs is the sheer poetry in that man's dialogue. Doth it... Well, hey, it sings. Oh, it certainly does. Now, you know what's funny about it, too, is it really does seem a little contrived at times. The way he writes these characters talking to each other. It seems like it's all one poet, just ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da. It's got a little, it's got a little beat poetry in it. It's interesting to listen to these people talk to each other. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, yes, Quentin Tarantino. What's really interesting to me, too, about Quentin Tarantino is the way in which that man seems to have gone through phases in his filmmaking career. Now, his latest phase... Now, here's the other thing. I'm sorry, all right? I'm begging your forgiveness. I haven't seen the new one, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I'm sure it's pretty good, if not hella good. I'm sure it's pretty damn good. But I gotta say, I didn't much care for The Hateful Eight. I thought that one was kind of... okay. I thought that one was just him resting on his laurels. He's like, yeah, man, I'll just make this crazy movie where there's all this shit going on. I don't know. I would imagine that's precisely what he was thinking when he made that movie. But anyway, yeah, and then I mean, there was the whole, period after Kill Bill. Now, I loved Kill Bill, all right? Now, there's a soft spot in my heart for Kill Bill. Not that I was ever really into samurai movies and things, but there's a soft spot in my heart because that came out when I was in high school, like graduating high school, and it was just so much fun. So that's what I associate with Kill Bill. When I think of Kill Bill, I think of the fun. Anyway, yes. But the phases, yes. The first phase, his crime movie phase, which was, not to say that they're not all about criminals and things, but that sort of overarching category of movie, Pulp Fiction and True Romance, Reservoir Dogs, man, those were good. In my opinion, those are his best, his finest. All right, but then after Kill Bill, he had this whole sort of there was some grand cultural narrative that he was trying to get in on with Inglourious Bastards and what's it called? Django Unchained. Now, not that there weren't fantastic performances in both of those movies, but it did seem to me like he was... I mean, it's easy to demonize Nazis and slave masters and things, all right? Not that I wouldn't want to demonize them. I mean, I would want to demonize people like that. But my point is that... there was something largely contrived about those movies. But in either case... who am I to criticize his works? He did his works, and he put them out into the world, and he said, yeah, you can like them or lump them, take them down the street and dump them, but there they are, baby doll. And I'm standing by them, and I ain't backing down, and I ain't gonna bow my head to you or any goddamn body. Here they are. Who knows what trials and tribulations he faced on his way to bringing those movies into the world. So, thank you, Quentin Tarantino, for doing that thing you do, man. Gave me the shivs. Okay. Okay. Yes. From now on, I shall always close this out by saying something that I'm proud of, that I accomplished as an artist, a free thinker, a dreamer, a doer this week, and I hath got a new satire piece published in the Daily Squib, so everybody go and check it out. It's called The Male Feminist's Guide to Tapping That. And I think you might like it. Anyway, that concludes this week's episode of the Needle Lift Podcast, ladies and gents. So be sure to tune in next week, okay? It's gonna be a good one then. So go get something done today and get something done tomorrow and the next day after that. And don't stop and keep on trucking and get your goddamn thing out into the world. And if it's in the world, stand by it. Keep your chin up and know that you had it your way. You had it your way. All right, we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Kaylee.